Alright, guys, so a day or so back, I talked about a new fanfiction I'm kind of collaborating and co-writing with my good friend Jason Voorhees 2011. And yeah, the prologue is out. I wrote this prologue for this story called Acts of Vengeance. Now, if you don't know what Acts of Vengeance is, Acts of Vengeance was a Marvel comic event back in late 80s, and it went all the way to the early 90s. It's about 1989. I think it went all the way to a majority of 1990. Anyway, getting back to the point. So, yeah, in that story, if you don't know the story of Acts of Vengeance, in this Marvel comic event, Loki brought together a bunch of villains like Kingpin, Red Skull, Doctor Doom, Magneto, Mandarin, the Wizard, all these villains together, and came up with this very simple plan. You know, he basically said, you know what? Your heroes all know how to beat you. So how about this? How about you all switch up switch up heroes? And it actually led to some really cool fights, like Juggernaut versus Thor, and Wolverine versus Tiger Shark, all of that. And I thought it was a really cool... The execution does get a little hazy, but there are some cool fight scenes here and there between several of the characters. Most notably, the Thor and Juggernaut fight, but I'm getting off topic. So yeah, the story was so cool that I approached... I approached... Jason saying, hey, I got this cool idea, do you want to work with me on it? And Jason's a big fan of crossovers like I am, and he's also writing a version of Secret Wars. Now, the big thing with this is that we're not using Marvel characters. When I first announced this, I think people got confused. No, there are no Marvel characters in here. This is based off of the event. This is I guess you could say parody of the event. Well, parodies are comical, and we're doing nothing comical with this. So yeah, this is based off of the Marvel Comics event way back when. So, and the other thing is that nobody really talks about Acts of Vengeance, mostly because of it revolved around the Cosmic Spider-Man and the Tri-Sentinel thing, which got a little ridiculous. But I digress. But yeah, there are no Marvel characters. Instead, in this version of our fanfiction, in this story, Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls has brought together a big amount of other villains throughout the multiverse, like the Huntsmaster from American Dragon Jake Long, Hawkmoth from Miraculous Ladybug, Lord Dominator and Lord Hater from Wander Over Yonder, and several other major villains throughout the multiverse. And in here, Bill Cipher, much like Loki, is pretty much like, hey guys, we all kind of get our ass kicked a lot by our heroes. Let's switch it up. So, yeah, that's the story on a whole, is that, the heroes are now, throughout the multiverse, the villains have now switched up with all their heroes, and now there's going to be some, interesting fights. Jason and I came up with some pretty interesting concepts for battles. I do not want to spoil that. That will all be revealed in Chapter 1. I just wrote the prologue, but Chapter 1, I just want to get this out here, is that Chapter 1 will be written by both myself and Jason. I'll be writing one half, he'll be writing the other. And in here, we already thought of some cool concepts, of some cool fights. There's some really epic stuff. There's some really epic stuff in here. And yeah, there are some characters that we haven't, Jason has used characters before from, shows like Steven Universe, Ninja Turtles, and you are going to see characters like that, but you're also going to see some new characters some new characters that he hasn't used before. If you've ever read his fanfiction stories, then he mostly sticks with Transformers and Avatar. If you've read his big storyline, Avatar Chronicles, which is the big Avatar / it goes into Legend of Korra storyline with the Transformers, called the New Iacon Chronicles, which is also really epic. I suggest you guys check that out. Check out that whole storyline. He's also writing like I said earlier, Jason is also writing a cartoon version, a cartoon version of Secret Wars, which is also pretty epic. And I know some people have been asking about that. Yes, he is still writing it. I assure you, I've read some of the bits and pieces he's written for each of the new chapters. They're really epic. But yes, he has not abandoned the project. He is still writing it. He is still on board with it. It's just that he's a human being. Leave him alone. Oh my god, I sound like Britney Spears fan. Leave him alone. He's a human being. Oh man, but yeah, he's give Jason some time. You know, it's Secret Wars. It's and he put a lot. You know, he put a lot of characters in here, much like how we put twice. I think we put twice as many characters in this Acts of Vengeance story. Now that I think about it, yeah, we probably put in a bit more of characters in this story. Oh boy. Yeah. So, anyway, what else did I want to say about this story? The prologue is not long. I will openly admit the prologue is not long, and it kind of wraps up really quickly, mostly because it's a prologue, and I wanted to get to the action. That was kind of the thing, was that I was like, you know what? It's prologue. Let's just get, it just gets out the basic information, and that's what a prologue is meant to do. Just get everyone hyped up and be like, all right, now we get to the main stuff. So that's how it's going to be. That's how the prologue is. It's kind of short. Yeah, it's a little under. It's actually under 2,000 words, if that gives you any indication. But no, I really did enjoy it. I really enjoyed it. I kind of rushed it, and I think I made the mistake of making Bill Cipher a little too OP. But then again, this is a guy who can make the laws of physics his bitch, so yeah. Although I think I took out Aku a little. I don't want to spoil that. Yeah, I think there's one character Bill beats a little too easily in here, and that was mostly my fault because I kind of was like, I don't know how a big fight would be, and Bill's literally half a step away from a god because he took out a being that could manipulate time in one hit. So, yeah. But again, if I could go back and re-edit, but yeah, it's kind of like in that scene in Harold and Kumar where it's like, you only take a few steps back, it's like, nah, we're too far gone. But yeah, I will admit that I think I made Bill a little too OP in one scene. But on the other hand, the one characters I really realized when I was writing this prologue, I love writing these characters. I love, especially because the first half of this prologue focuses around Shigo and Draken, and I suddenly realized I really enjoy writing Shigo and Draken. I love writing those two. Yeah, so I kind of pretty much found myself really enjoying that. Yeah, but I'm now kind of rambling. Anyway, but no, the story is going to be a lot of fun. You guys can, like I said, I'll leave a link below for you guys to check out the story and see for yourselves. To see, yeah. But again, it's a prologue. Nothing really happens other than Bill coming together, bringing all the villains together. I don't want to spoil any of the fights. I really don't want to spoil any of the fights, because there's some where like, oh, that's going to happen, and oh, that'd be fun. But yeah, and I don't even want to spoil all the characters we're using, all the villains. Really. But yeah, be prepared, because this is going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be some really excellent hero-villain mashups, and it's actually kind of funny, because Jason was talking to me when we were first planning out this story. He suddenly mentioned to me, this sounds like your hero-villain mashup segment, right? And I was like, oh my god, you're right, because I wasn't even thinking that until Jason brought it up. And I was like, oh my god, you're right, it's come to life. Anyway, so once again, I will leave the link below, and you guys can enjoy the prologue and, read the rest of the story when it comes out, as it comes out. Anyway, so once again, hope you all enjoy this, and yeah, look, the Acts of Vengeance begins now.